and all was known. You could feel beauty rising.
Hi, my name is Sue Skasky with Vermont Volunteer Services for Animals Humane Society, and welcome to our show, For the Animals. We've asked J.D. Green and Badgley to stay here with us so we could do a second show because I don't know where the time went on the first.
We could talk forever
I
about
know.
dogs.
J.D. Green is well known to many people, I'm sure. He is the morning disc jockey on Froggy Radio, 100.9.
Yeah.
And Badgley is his new puppy
Yes.
that you adopted 5 months ago?
I've lost track. Somewhere in there, 5 or 6 months ago, something like that.
And many people will have known over the years of Buddy, his beloved dog that passed away. Well, now she's quiet. The first show, she was just full of spitfire.
It won't last.
Okay, we talked about...
Don't jinx yourself.
Okay, putting it off camera, but okay. For those of you that might not know, J.D. writes a monthly column
Yeah.
called... Do you have a name specifically for it?
Yeah. Beyond the Dog.
Oh, Beyond the Dog, of course, I know that.
And that's the name of the book that I'm writing as well.
But they're all titled
Yes.
differently. So
Each column has a different title.
I picked one up that I hope I can get through reading. I'm going to give it a shot. Some of the columns are very heart-wrenching. Some are funny and heart-wrenching in the same. But for people that have ever lost a beloved animal, you'll know the feeling that J.D. suffered having lost Buddy after so many years. I mean, they were tied at the hip. We were talking last time how Buddy would go on different sites, different events that you would do.
Oh, yeah.
And now does Badgley is
Not yet.
too puppy.
Much too puppy.
I hate to tell you.
She'll get there.
She's going to be puppy for a long time.
Yeah, I'm told that boxers never really grow up.
That's
so.
right. Boxers, Dalmatians, what other ones are full of energy forever?
Yes. And she does this. She's either going 100 miles an hour or 0, and it's one or the other.
Yeah. She's a cutie, though. So she's
Thank you.
brindle.
She's a brindle, yeah.
Mm.
And she's a love, very affectionate.
Yeah. I saw
And-
her standing on her little hind legs kissing.
Oh, yeah. And playful.
So I'm going to try and read The Happy Place.
Sure.
Okay. You want to give a lead up to it?
Sure. The Happy Place, I wrote, this was the first column that I wrote after Buddy died, which was this past August. And I just I woke up very early one morning and had envisioned a letter that Buddy had written to me.
Oh.
And it was kind of playing out in my head of what I think he would be saying to me within a week or so after he was gone.
Okay. And it's called The Happy Place. Vermont Sunday Magazine. Can you find these online?
This is online, yep, on the timesargus.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. The Happy Place. Buddy wrote me a letter. Here's what it said. Dad, I never knew you had so many readers, listeners, and friends. I can't believe how many letters and cards you received about me. Remember every time you laughed at my twitching feet while I was dreaming and wondered where I was? You said I was at my happy place. That special magical place that we visit in our minds to escape reality, to get hypnotized. We go there to relax, feel better, and be completely content. I think it's where I am now. It's a place called heaven. Tell your readers if they don't believe in heaven, maybe they could at least agree that it's a state of joy and happiness, or even a moment in time stood still. Let me tell you exactly how it is here. Every day is better than the one before. This morning for breakfast, I licked down a few frosty paws, tore into some Girl Scout cookies, and ate a whole package of filet mignon jerky. Then I ate all the toast crusts that I could manage before lapping up a large creamy. Remember how much I loved road trips with the music blasting in the wind in my ears? Today, just like the old days, I stood my whole time with my head out the window. From here on, no more sleeping through everything and missing it all because I'm not tired all the time. Here I can shred all the paint rollers I want. The best part is I sleep in my room at night because no one comes by to clean it up. I can lick all the plates I wish and eat all the biscuits I want. Peanut butter, tuna, and bacon too. Remember that chipmunk I've been chasing my whole life and never caught? Yesterday I leaped high over a stone wall and finally got him. Ooh. Next week I'm trying out for a role in a play. I'm hoping I'm the princess. Tomorrow it's a drive-in movie. I'll eat as much popcorn as I can handle. Remember that old lady in the wheelchair that adored me so much at the old people's home you always made me visit? I just found her and made her smile again. Remember how I always pretended my hearing was okay by barking only when Lulu barked? My hearing is perfect now, and I bark whenever I want at whatever I want, and no one tells me to knock it off. I overheard you tell someone you prepared your mind about what makes sense, but you couldn't prepare your heart. That's to be expected, I guess, so give yourself a break. I know this has been hard on you. I miss you all the time, too. But lighten up a little and tell your readers about the time I ran off and got lost inside Buck's furniture, or the time I crashed the wedding you were DJing at. In case you forgot, I know exactly where your happy place is. You ought to visit sometime. It's me shaking fluffy white snowflakes off my back on Christmas Eve and then resting by the stove after snowshoeing. It's laying at your feet by a campfire on a summer night. It's in your tent during the thunderstorm and under the stars in your kayak when I howled back at the balloons to make you laugh. It's you sipping on a margarita from the bow of our sailboat while we watch the sunset and the stars magically appear one by one at twilight. Please thank my girl, Cheryl Lynn, for everything she did for me all those years. She was so gentle. Although she was a real pro at giving me the shots, she could use a few lessons from you on how to shove a pill down my throat. Thank her for never leaving my side that day, but more importantly, for never leaving yours. And by the way, I have all 16 years of pictures you took stored in my heart. I see everyone each night before I fall asleep. Also, God says you should stop crying and get another dog. When I got here, I wasn't sure if dogs were even welcome. God just smiled and said he was lucky to have so many. That must be why he spells his name backwards. Buddy. P.S. The world's oldest dog just arrived here at the age of 26 years and 9 months. In human years, God says that's approximately Liza Minnelli. J.D. Green is the morning host of the Breakfast Club. I did it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Someone could come in here and kick the door in and come in here with a bunch of ski masks on their face and shotguns pointed at us, and Buddy would have been happy to see him. This one is like, someone could, make a noise a mile from here and she'd see it and be ready to attack.
Well, Skinny Minnie, my cat, sleeps with me, and if a noise happens out here, she's immediately sitting up.
Yeah.
She is just like, or last night I heard something at the glass door. She didn't move. She was sleeping towards that one. I was like, okay.
Really?
Because I don't know if it's a deer walking by or
They just
whatever.
can't bark, can they?
Oh, but she talks. She talks.
Thanks for reading that one.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one.
Thank you.
Have you, okay.
Some of these, after I write them, I don't go back and read them. I just,
Yeah.
I just write it and it just comes out and then...
JD, though, let's talk about this. Did you ever read The Tribute to a Dog by Eugene O'Neill?
Oh, yes.
I love that. And when people lose their animals, especially a dog, BDSA has a line of cards.
Yeah,
One has the Rainbow Bridge in it.
yeah.
One has a beautiful little poem that my spirit is with you still.
Yes.
JD, I wonder about making cards with that, because people would find so much comfort
Sure.
in that. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
it
sure.
might be long for a card, but the part about Karen pictures in her heart, I would love, in Buddy's heart, think how beautiful that would be in a card. Would you care if I developed a line of cards with a picture of Buddy on it and that on the inside?
Would be wonderful.
You know, the first one, the Rainbow Bridge, my friend Carl Giammarisi from the Buckinghams,
Yeah.
he and his wife Barb adopted a little Karen Terrier. And so he had professional photos done. They love their dog. And I ran the idea because I wanted a nice picture of the dog. He said, sure, go ahead. So their dog is sitting on the top of, in the front of the card, and on the inside is the Rainbow Bridge.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, so I'll do that. I'll
Make
do
sure I
that.
get one.
We'll give you a few.
What,
Actually,
I'm just glancing at the table in front of us here. And
Right.
One of my columns, and I know we've only got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 or so. One of them, and I'm trying to remember which one, has a tribute to a dog in it.
really, reference to it?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, his wife had lost Blemmy. Okay. Now we're seeing Badgley in motion.
Boxer mode.
Who's this?
He only owns the house. He lives here. This is his house. You're in it.
And she's going to keep her eye on him. I know we've got, for those, I don't think you can see them, but we've got JD's articles all laid out.
Black and White Kitties is a favorite of mine too. That's when Buddy gets very badly sprayed by a skunk.
I remember that one.
Yeah,
Did you bring that one?
I did. It's right there.
I think I could get through that one.
Yeah, it's,
Or
it's,
could you?
it's a funny one. I mean, you don't have to read it, but it's right there, straight ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know, as I said, there's some funny ones and some not so funny ones.
Well, you can read this one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Do we have time?
Oh, let's make time.
Okay. Boy, I haven't read this one in a while.
Do you need my glasses?
No. Here we go. While Vermont's 5th season, known in northern New England as mud season, retreats, I'm reminded how much I love this time of year. Emerald pastures are returning. Red maple buds will burst open to a lush mint green, and dirt roads become dirt again. Snow still melts on the mountaintops. Twilights arrive later. There's the song of the chickadee and the peepers, and finally the smell of fresh air through your open windows. We get impatient with Mother Nature, anticipating warmer days ahead. Just a few weeks ago, while on a muddy jaunt in the woods, I caught the sweet scent of the last boil from a remote sugar house as the steam billowed through the treetops. It's a quiet time of year, before the folks from down country arrive, when potholes and frost heaves rule the land, turkeys barely miss your front grill, and on occasion, a familiar stench returns to your nose. Skunks. At the very least, dog owners know of this creature. If you and your dog have been spared, or have spared an encounter with one, consider yourself blessed, and don't take your good fortune for granted. Considering the fact that Buddy adores cats, I now refer to skunks as black and white kitties. A few times Buddy tried to run after one while out for a nighttime stroll. But I had my thumb on the brake button of my retractable leash. There was one time, however, when I wasn't so lucky. It seems it's always very late on Sunday nights when things go wrong with Buddy, and the vet is closed. Just as I've always done, I opened the deck door one evening to let Buddy out one last time before bed. Only milliseconds separated my opening the door and turning the light on, but it was just enough time for Buddy to come face to rear end with the biggest black and white kitty either of us have ever seen. It was one of my favorite shirts that I had to throw away that night after I picked up my rancid dog and carried him to the curb, not knowing what to do. Buddy was in rough shape, taking a close-range direct hit to the face. With his eyes shut, he winced in agony as the burns set in, and unable to see, he refused to move. It was a long walk in the dark to the Farmington River that night, carrying a putrid dog in a plastic bag with cans of tomato sauce and pineapple juice. But finally we arrived. Some might agree that swimming in late April might be a tad chilly, but I did what I had to do. Removed my clothing, except for my underwear. With Buddy in my arms, chest deep in water, we both shivered furiously while covered in tomato sauce. I did all I could, but it seemed to make no difference. Buddy was in trouble and still couldn't open his eyes. At least an hour passed before I decided I needed help. Clearly, it made no sense to put my skunky clothes back on. Besides, at 1 a.m., who would notice you walking back home, soaking wet, with nothing on but your tomato-stained underwear? With Buddy still unwilling to walk, I made my way with him in my arms, still crying in pain. I needed help, and I needed it now. So it was perfect timing when that police officer slowly came up behind me. "Do I really need to explain myself?" I asked, out of breath. "Nope," he said, trying to conceal his grin. "I'm not sure where you're headed, but I can't offer you a ride, or a blanket for that matter," he said, continuing to roll along at my side with my staggering pace. "I sure could use a 24-hour vet hospital if you know of one," I said while marching on. Buddy ended up with permanent burn lesions on his retinas, while I ended up with a vet bill that was slightly more than absurd. But hours later, I was on my way home with my $60 eye drops and a miserable best friend riding shotgun at my side. It was several years before the stench left the upholstery of my truck, but with the help of some raw fish and the biggest have-a-heart trap they sell, I caught that skunk just a few days later. I can attest that having a heart was the last thing I wanted when I covered him up with a blanket that morning. So that's Black and White Kitties.
That's precious.
I can find you something to do.
Can you imagine the story that the cop went back to the station with?
Oh my God.
Did he know you ahead of time?
No. Walking through the streets holding him, wearing nothing but my underwear. Holding a dog at, 1:30 in the morning.
That is so funny.
Tomato sauce all down the front of me.
If that's not love, I don't know what is. I think we've probably hit our half-hour mark.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again.
Thank you
It's
for
always
having
fun
me.
having you down.
It's always fun to be here.
And I think we should do this regularly.
You
and
got it.
I now see Badgley asking to come in. So on that note, thank you for watching our show For the Animals, and please join us again next week.
At dusk, there came a turning. There was a moment when all was known. You could feel